we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, November 9th, 2021. It is 4:37 p.m. Welcome to Goose Creek CISD School Health Advisory Council meeting. My name is Sanar Edwards Jr. I go by Ski. I am the co-chair of GCC ISD SHAC. To my right, I have Amanda Kennington. She's our SHAC chair. And to my left, we have Ms. Michelle Nelson. She's our secretary. And we will introduce ourselves here formally in just a few moments. So before we get started, just would like to go over a couple meeting norms, just so that we're all on the same page. So as you can see, just being on time, that's important, right? We're all very busy individuals. Some are, if not all of us, are parents, and just be prompt. Please silence your cell phones. Let's do our best to stay on topic. If we need to, we can start a parking lot just in case something goes off script, and we can address it after the meeting. So let's do our best to stay on topic. Look ahead to positive action. Be prepared. Ask questions for clarification if needed. Ensure everyone's voice is heard. Everybody's voice and opinion matters, and would like to make sure everybody can make a contribution. So we will do our best to share only new and accurate information. We will celebrate. So we're going to share some celebrations and challenges alike. We're going to go by majority rule. Understand all options before making a decision, and let's do our best to separate our personal feelings from what is best for the greater group for all. So once again, I'd like to we're going to introduce ourselves as officers. I'm going to go ahead and let the ladies go first. So I'll pass it over to Miss Michelle Nelson.
My name is Michelle Nelson. I'm a parent, but also I took up a temporary project with GCCISD. I've been living here in Baytown for 16 years. I'm being a business owner, but currently I am still is partially, but full time now working temporary Goose Creek. Healthcare is my passion, and it's been a wonderful journey working with several organizations within the district here. And I'm happy to see so many people that's on the same page. I'm excited for each and every one of you here today. And most of all, I'm excited for myself so I can be able to push the positive agenda. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Nelson. Ms. Kennington.
And Amanda Kennington, this is my 20th year in education. Always been with physical education, health. It's my passion to make sure that every student is engaged and challenged and healthy, that we can support them in every way. So this School Health Advisory Council gives me a voice, gives our campus representatives a voice, and gives the parents a voice to do that. So thank you all for being here.
And once again, I'm Sanar Edwards Jr. I go by Ski. So I am a father of 5. I have 4 girls that are in GCC ISD, primary through up to junior high. Can't believe I have a 12-year-old now playing sports. So this excites me. I'm also an active duty military member. I'm in the Coast Guard, stationed out in California, but I've been spending a lot of my time out here, home in Texas, here recently, just since the onset of the pandemic. But very glad and happy to serve in this capacity as the SHAC co-chair, just for the opportunity to impact the lives of our kids, our students, and even the faculty here at GCC ISD. So looking forward to not only my own contributions, but the contributions of everyone in this room, and more for those who were unable to attend. So, but thank you all. So we need to establish a quorum here in the audience. So I'm gonna go through the roll. Just please bear with me. We have a list of about 49 names. I know a lot of folks are not here, but just for voting voting rights, voting privileges. We need to establish a quorum to have at least 25 present. If not, we will not be able to vote on anything, but we can still conduct our business. So just wanted to put that out there. So when you hear your name called, just please say here or present, just so we can have you counted. This is alphabetical order. So Cynthia Almanza. Okay. You're marking. Okay, good. Adam Timothy Bailey. Oriana Bankston. Nelva Benavides. Patrick Brown Sr. Is it Theresa or is it Teresa? It is Teresa. Teresa Caldwell. Okay. All right. Thank you. Lilia Camacho. Lilia Camacho. Okay. Ruth Carrillo. Ruth Carrillo. Samuel Chapa. Christy Clement. Rosemary Kaufman. Ashley Cox. Becky Dunn. Becky Dunn. All right. Pat Dwyer. No, Pat. Okay. Jasmine Eaglin. Okay. Natalie Edwards. She's out. That's me. I'm here. Madison Gallagher. Stephen Griffin. Marilyn Heredia. Okay. Susanna Herrera Toledo. Okay. Sarah Hicks. Cara Ehegdebo. Okay. Brittany Janikowski. Brittany Janikowski. All right. Beverly Kegler. Beverly. Amanda. Okay. Kim Kostick. Okay. Myra Laverne. Myra Laverne. Tamika Lee. Letitia Legre. Okay. Lee Martinez. Yeah. Stephanie Myers. Michelle's here. Patricia Pena. Casey Pena. Maria Ramirez. David Reed. Carrie Rickard. Laura Rupp. Rosalind Scott. Angela Cervantes. Laura Shostak. Jessica Sims. Diane Slack. Lillian Sockwell. Nicole Saunier. Priscilla Thornton. I hope I said that right. All right. Joella Whitley. And Kevin Robleski. All right. Okay, so we do have a quorum. We will be able to vote where needed. Thank you all. And we'll pass it to Mrs. Kennington for community communications. But thank you all for participating in that. And I'll pass it to Mrs. Kennington.
Okay, so community communications, I'm just going to kind of go through these points here. The general SHAC meeting is a reported public event and is being recorded as a matter of public record. Confidential information should not be discussed. Members of the public may address the council by emailing testimony to GCCISD at shac@gccisd.net no later than 5 p.m. 4 days prior to the scheduled meeting. And GCCISD SHAC shares meeting information on the district website under the Whole Child Initiatives website. And this information will be shared on our meeting minutes so that if anyone needs to find additional communications. Any questions on that?
Any questions? Okay. Do we have any guests present tonight that would like to stand up and introduce themselves? Or if you're loud enough, you can stay seated. Any guests? I heard here we have a diet. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that the only guest we have tonight? Okay. All right.
Cannot go without saying thank you, Mr. Bollinger, in the back for being here today. He is our district leader liaison, so we appreciate you being here at our meeting. All right, so this is time for any celebrations. We kind of used this little let us celebrate last year, and kind of just perks us up, so just a little smile on everybody's face. A couple celebrations that I have to share just real quick around the district. Asheville Smith just now hosted this past Friday a Safe Routes to School Walk to School event. A lot of success. The mayor came, so we're just trying to get some active modes of transportation going in the district. So anything that is physical activity that we can encourage at our campuses. We definitely want campuses to be involved in these type of events. So if anyone is interested, they can reach out to me and to get more information. And then I also wanted to mention United Way Days of Caring. Casey, do you want to mention anything about the Days of Caring event? Ms. Pena is here from United Way, so I'm going to hand it over to her for a second to share some celebrations within our district.
Elementary, Alamo, San Jacinto Elementary, Asheville Smith, and Cedar Park. We completed projects like creating outdoor learning enrichment gardens, which is what that photo is. They're outdoor classrooms. Additionally, we partnered with communities and schools where we did job readiness and resume building workshops, which resulted in 3 high school students getting new jobs for the year, which was really great. And then also community partners this year collaborated, such as Community Resource Credit Union. We did a project at Lamar Elementary, and that project alone was an investment of about $6,000, where they went in, redid the playground, had about 30 volunteers on a Saturday come out and just show this love, and they were really excited for the kids to come back the next day on that Monday and see all the work that they invested. And then additionally, we put in 4 new Little Free libraries around Baytown and Chambers County, which now totals to 16 available Little Free libraries to anybody in Baytown and Chambers County.
Thank you, Casey Pena. And then, are there any other celebrations? Anyone have any celebrations they would like to share? Something maybe from their campus or their child's campus? Then I'd like to introduce Mr. Bailey to come on up, if you don't mind. He's going to do a quick presentation. We want to celebrate the work at Alamo Elementary. As a short presentation for you. Just tell me when to switch slides. Sure. Wherever you feel comfortable.
That's fine. Okay. Hi, everybody. Tim Bailey. I'm the catch champion at our school. Just a little bit about me. I've been with the school district for about 17 years. I'm a PE teacher. Anyway, catch, which is a coordinated approach to child health, that's sort of the platform that the district is using to promote health within the district. And you can go ahead. Okay, so of course we do have a catch committee, just like we have a committee here. It's made up of myself, our school, our cafeteria manager, several teachers, admin. We meet every 9 weeks, and we discuss. Actually, catch has, what how would you say it? Just
A coordination kit?
a coordination kit. We kind of follow that to help to promote health within the school. Anyway, and that's basically our duty. So All right, so here's our catch team. Everybody kind of put down their favorite go foods. We kind of classify everything go, whoa, and slow. Go foods would be like fruits and vegetables, things that you can eat as often as you want. And then you got your slow foods, which are things that are processed, you don't want to eat quite as often. Then you got the whoa foods, which you need to stay away from as much as you can, like the fried foods and whatnot. Anyway, you can go to the next one. Okay, so we do meet. We were meeting once a month. We moved it to 9 weeks. All the teachers are required to do 2 nutrition lessons, and all that's built into the program, which is really awesome. You can probably go to the next one. Talk about that. All right. So in our school, throughout the school, we do have a lot of posters and whatnot that do promote health within the school. That's in the cafeterias, it's in the gym, it's in the hallways, and it's in the teachers' rooms as well. And that's just more right there. It's more of the same. Yep. Also, we do have, we used to have family nights before COVID. Now we do have virtual family nights, and we do have some things on there as well that we do to promote health. That's kind of more of the same, I guess. And we also, Be Well Baytown, we've been part of that. And we do normally have a family night, which of course that also went virtual. But once everything gets back to normal, we will be able to get back out there and do more as far as having community come in and see what all we have. But yeah, I think that's it. Yay. Anyway, but that's what we do at the at the campuses. We have that going on, so that just really to try to really promote children thinking about their health and making good decisions. But that's it.
Thank you for sharing.
Yep, sure thing.
Is it my turn? Oh, it's my turn. Okay, so we're going to lead right into our action items. We have 3 action items on the table tonight. The approval of our minutes, we have the SHAC bylaws, and then the SHAC letter of support. So for this, it's pretty much that we do need our quorum, which we have right now. We will need a motion from SHAC members to approve these different items, and then seconded, and if there's any discussion to be had, and then we'll also take a vote on each action item, and majority does rule. So for the first action item, we have our approval of meeting minutes. Those were shared with SHAC members via email about 72 hours after, or in advance, and then as well after this meeting. For you to review, check for accuracy, spelling, grammar, any dates, suggest any revisions or edits, and then those are made based on feedback. So I know this is sort of our practice run since we had our orientation meeting. So we're using the orientation meeting as minutes of practice for that. So just know that after this meeting tonight, you'll have 72 hours to revise and review and provide feedback before a draft is posted of our meeting minutes for tonight onto the website. So 72 hours, just kind of review, edit, send any edits in that you have, and then we'll be approving today's meeting at the January meeting. I know it'll feel kind of a long time. So any revisions or edits that need to be made, make sure you're providing that feedback via email at shac@gccisd.net. So we are now moving into the motion. If anyone would like to make a motion for the approval of the minutes that were sent out from the September 21st meeting. Do I have anyone that would like to make a motion? And your name? Would anyone like to second the motion to approve the minutes? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, is there any discussion? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Apologize for that. We'll be on there next time. Thank you.
So we'll make that revision to add Ms. Whitley to the meeting minutes on committee rollout. Any other revisions? Discussion? So with that revision, can we take a vote to approve those meeting minutes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All in favor, raise your hand. That was really hard. Thank you. All opposed, raise your hand. Thank you. The minutes are approved. All right. And next, we're going to go into our bylaws. We did have an ad hoc committee that reviewed and formed those SHAC bylaws. We did have a lot of revisions that were made, and then we drafted a new bylaw for this school year. Same thing, if there's any revisions that you wanted to be made to the document or discussion, we'll take that in consideration. But first, we need a motion to accept the bylaws as they were drafted. Would anyone like to make a motion?
David Reed, I'd like to make a motion.
Thank you.
Accept the bylaws as written.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Would anyone like to second the motion?
Tim Bailey.
Mr. Bailey, thank you. Seconds the motion. Is there any discussion on the bylaws? It is a 10-page document, and just as for discussion's sake, we are just held through the BDF legal document that was presented to you in your folder. But this just kind of clarifies, the bylaws clarify just in more detail some of the ins and outs of what we plan to do with our SHAC. Any questions? All right, so I would like to put the bylaws up for the 2021-2022 bylaws up for a vote. All in favor, say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Thank you. Those opposed, raise your hand. Okay, the motion passes. All right, and now we're on to our third action item, presentation, reading, and approval of a SHAC letter of support. This document was also emailed to you in advance. The Texas Department of State Health Services, they're offering a Reaching for Excellence in Texas School Health grant to schools or districts, and they can receive up to $10,000 in reimbursement funds to implement different projects. If selected, the school campuses can receive funds for a selected project, one selected project only. And then any eligible applicants, they have to meet all requirements. And one of the requirements is that SHAC supports their grant proposal. So that's where we, as a health advisory council, come in in support of this new program or initiative in the form of a letter of support. So we were supposed to have Miss Rebecca Grant here today from Harlem Elementary. She's fallen ill. She was ill yesterday and out again today. She was going to give us some information about her evidence-based intervention, and she's proposing a strategy to implement at Harlem Elementary. She, did provide me with a one-page information about this. I'm just going to briefly do a presentation regarding this and then see if there's any motion to support this evidence-based program. So for Harlem Elementary, they're requesting funds through this grant to improve student emotional, physical, and academic health through technology. What Harlem Elementary wants to do is, in their PE department, they want to provide world-class education to students, which includes physical health and social emotional learning. They want to couple individualized inquiry-based learning that enhances student growth, but they also want to take to heart that the ongoing brain-body research that has revealed the heart rate is the most effective biomarker for physical and emotional feedback. When students are moving, they are learning. In efforts to continue to align to the district and campus improvement plans, Harlem would like to upgrade their practices and integrate wristbands that are heart rate monitors to assess. They're also assessment technology and innovative kinesthetic STEM curriculum. This is all provided through interactive health technologies. The technology ecosystem provides direct real-time data to students, and it links their physical health and emotions to a visual display through heart rate. While the software centralizes all data back to the teacher in the district, it provides measurable data from the individual to school and district levels. Measures such as student health and fitness, like the fitnessgram, behavioral health, like stress, anxiety, trauma, absenteeism, are linked to academic growth in their STEM classes for all students, including those with special needs. It also engages parents and staff through daily reports. So that IHT integrates wireless wristband heart rates on the market, and it's made specifically for children in education. It's the only technology in the world that centralizes in virtual learning. I don't know why it does that. I apologize. The program teaches skills that help students to be more self-aware as they go through the day. In addition, the program integrates movement-based learning curriculum for all areas. They're requesting through this grant a set of 63 monitors that they would use in PE and impact nearly every student in their school. IHT would provide step-by-step implementation, training, curriculum resources, and reports could be emailed to parents daily. Journaling prompts and self-assessment, continuing student growth beyond the school day. The program engages every member of the school staff as well because it sustains itself with relatively low future expenditures. So why do they want to do this? Miss Rebecca Grant is saying that the reason why is to assess the needs for students at Harlem. The Catch team looked at the fitnessgram data that was collected during the 2021 school year. They looked at 4th and 5th graders' cardio intake as they measured by the PACER test and the students' body mass index measurements. And according to the fitnessgram, students in the 4th and 5th grade were considered to be healthy fit zone if they earned between 23 and 61 PACER laps. Harlem Elementary only had 23.7% of 5th graders and 24.4% of 4th graders achieve that healthy fitness zone. This means over 75% each grade level failed to achieve the healthy achievement standard. When looking at the students' height and weight, they calculated body mass index and found the same sort of results. So they're proposing their goals and objectives for this would be that Harlem would provide the technology, infrastructure, and tools to maximize student achievement. All students on campus would have access to the Spirit system while they participate in PE class. Harlem would establish and maintain parental and community partnerships in education to enhance student achievement. Harlem would increase student achievement by providing rigorous learning opportunities and curriculum that meets students' needs. Harlem would increase the student number who reach the healthy fit zone on their fitnessgram pre and post test. And she has several objectives all outlined as well. So what we're proposing tonight as a part of our duties is to support this. This is a project that we had an ad hoc committee go through each item and just kind of see, is this evidence-based? Is this, is this something that other districts have done? Is this something that's innovative, which our district is? So we feel that this is something that, is a possibility. There's not the pros versus the cons. So we're just asking for you to approve the letter of support. And that letter of support pretty much just says that we acknowledge as a SHAC that specific roles and responsibilities that we would fulfill would be two things. We would make recommendations to the school board if it was appropriate to do, and we would also partner with the Physical Education, Physical Activities Subcommittee to work on the efforts that they're doing at Harlem Elementary. So I am asking if anyone would like to make a motion to approve this letter of support for Harlem's grant, Reaching for Excellence grant. Would anyone like to second? Thank you, Ms. Benavides. Any discussion? I'll try my best to answer questions. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And my understanding from my discussions with Ms. Grant was that they could also use it at family night type events, but solely it's for PE usage for all the students because they all have PE, but they were saying they could probably even evolve it into staff wellness too. Yes, ma'am, as far as I know, it does. Mhm. Just says, provides measurable data from the individual to school and district levels. Students, measures fitness gram, behavioral health, so it's tracking just the heart rate. Wrist-based heart rate monitor. That answer your question at all? So it does have an itemized, so I don't know if this may help as well. It comes, the heart rate monitor itself, it's the heart rate monitor, it's a data reader within it. They have a heart rate software license that goes along with that. Teacher and student resources, and then consultation and setup. That could be a question that I ask Ms. Grant to get back with us on that for sure.
So I see on here on the second page, ma'am, it says parents and students can receive an instant email summary of students' daily workout. So it looks like the parents will have their students' information. Is that what you're concerned about? Right.
Thank you. And maybe Ms. Pena or thinking fitness gram related or things like that. Yes.
My question kind of ties into what she's asking as well. Is the data going to be, because I'm guessing this is for class, right? So I see on here 63 of the bands. So my first question is, I think there's more than 63 kids in a PE class. So is that only going to be, I mean, what are we going to do for those students? Like if we have 80 kids that want it, or you know, I'm guessing parents are going to get information because some parents might want to opt and say, I don't want my child to be a part of it. So those two go hand in hand. And then, of course, my third one, if so, is during that time after the students are in PE, is that data going to be started, shared, that sort of thing, and who will be doing that?
Thank you for your question. That was a good question. Because of HIPAA and FERPA, it's actually programmable and it's targeted for individual student. So they will reset for each student. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
So then, now my next question is, what if we're gonna have, you know, it's not just gonna be 63 kids.
Have a cap of students that go to PE, adults and
Ratio, so we won't have more than 60.
and it's about 60. And it also has disinfecting wipes as part of that, so I'm thinking it's going to be a set. They're cleaning in between, and then yes, I believe that's what it is. I apologize that she's not here to answer these questions. Yeah.
To answer your question, I did a little bit of research on rate monitors, and it's just heart rate. There's no that would be like pain just
And I think that we'll still have a hand in that if the grant is even approved, if they get funded, which that's what we're hoping to support. But that's why I think it's important that we, as a subcommittee, physical activity subcommittee, that we want a part in that, so that way we can get those questions answered and make sure that it's all arranged the right way. Maybe
You
Yes,
have a
ma'am.
question within the back? Yeah.
Oh, okay. All go to PE that day. Some of those will go to art, some of those will go to music.
Yeah, they split it by three, right?
Yeah, so it's like 50 kids. Thank you. Ms. Pena?
Same note, the longevity of the program, if this is to be rolled into things like family night and other activities, but we're still limited on the number, we're still limited on the amount of data we can collect in that setting, correct?
Correct.
So it would still only be the 63 outside of gym class.
Yeah. That's how, yes, 63.
So would it be like a first come, first served sign up in those cases? So like,
That would be up to the campus at those events, I believe, yeah. Other discussion?
All good questions.
They are all good questions. I need everyone to say their name before, so I know who's asking what, or we reflect. Any other questions? Because these are all things that, you know, we can go to Miss Rebecca Grant.
Laura,
Thank you.
they're saying that your heart rate makes you learn better. I mean, what's the point of this? I just really want to know.
They're saying that when students, what I'm reading here, it says what they're seeing is brain body research revealed that heart rate is the most effective biomarker for both physical and emotional feedback, and when students are moving, they are learning. So that, again, is their basis of trying. Yeah. Rolling over. Mm-hmm.
They're getting real time feedback.
Motivation or something. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That would be for the campus charge, because we're not supporting the funding. We're not in that realm. She's just wanting us to support her trying for the grant, to apply to the grant that she has presented to the SHAC, that we support the idea of it. And the only support that we are saying within this letter is not in all of the conversation, is just that we're going to make recommendations to the school board if appropriate, and that we'll partner with them by having the physical education and physical activity subcommittee to work on the effort. All right. So again, we are going to put this up to a vote. So again, it's your opinion. If you feel like you need more information, again, just your vote counts, and it should matter. But all we're voting on right now is just to offer this letter of support to send with Ms. Grant to apply for the Reaching for Excellence grant. So I'll open that up. Yes, ma'am.
I don't want your question going vain. For those who have specific questions,
Yes.
please put it on this piece of paper and we can address those questions with her as soon as possible and get back to you all.
Okay, so would anyone like to make a motion to support, for letter of support? Okay, and then, thank you. Yes, and then Ms. Nova Benavides. And then we had our discussion. I would like to put this up for a vote. So if you are in favor of moving to accept the letter of support as read, raise your hand and say aye. Thank you. Those opposed, raise your hand and say nay. Thank you. Motion passes. Thank you for your patience with that. She does apologize for not being here. She became ill yesterday. Okay. Okay.
All right. So moving on to our committee updates, information and celebrations. So the SHAC Executive Committee consists of the officers, the executive leader liaison, and the chairs of all substantive standing committees. Standing committees serve the SHAC's decision-making process. They are the focal point for SHAC activity. Broad community participation is sought for committees. They gather information, analyze available data, make recommendations to the SHAC, and report to the SHAC. The SHAC may develop these information items into action items for a SHAC vote. The subcommittee chairs report directly to the executive committee. The district leader will share a summary of the 21-22 first quarter progress, including celebrations, items in progress, continuing, and new items in their component area, and lead the presentation and discussion for any items for the SHAC's consideration. So as all of you may know, we have 7 committees. So we have physical education and physical activity. We have health education. We have nutrition services, family and community involvement, health services, mental health services, and then we have employee health and wellness. And so Not all committees have provided updates. We only have a few committees that have an update for us. And so, okay, yeah.
Okay, so I did want to reiterate from our orientation meeting, as the GCCIC Healthy Community School Coordinator, I work with all of the teams, the campus wellness teams on their catch programming, the K through 8th programming. So also with the orientation meeting, we discussed some specific things that SHAC has as tasks to do. But I did want to also say that Mr. Edwards did want all of the updates from each area, just so that way we can kind of give you what projects we're working on now, and maybe just a little celebration of what we're doing. So specifically for the SHAC, we have the task of doing a few things specifically this year: updating and approving the K through 12th grade PE and health curriculum, which we'll hear more about, because there are new health and PE TEKs that were going to be implemented for 22-23 school year. We have textbook review and approval for K through 12th grade PE and health, which we'll get an update about that. We have new legislation that came through for compliance required by the first day of school for human sexuality and abstinence education, and about SHAC transparency. This is what was discussed with House Bill 1525. So I'm going to pass over to Mr. Martinez, our athletic director, to give us an update on PE and physical activity.
We did work this summer on the spoken sequence, and I think first coming here, I know Bailey really well. A lot of the PE elementary teachers, you would go to different schools and see a lot of different activities, a lot of different subjects. So what we had is we had a lot of people kind of doing their own thing, and there wasn't really a solid scope and sequence. So what we were able to do this summer with the help from all the teachers, which I think Coach Bailey and Ms. Kennington will tell you, we try to get everybody involved in that process. We got together, put together a scope and sequence, and it's complete. And I couldn't have done that without the teachers or Ms. Kennington or Greg Smith, the assistant athletic. So that is one thing that is complete, not only for elementary but for junior high. So we went through and we said, how do we go about doing this? You think about, you don't want to take away the creativity of a teacher. So what we did is we aligned the subjects of what we want to teach. And I know they're going to add health to this. So there is spots that we can add health in every spot that we have throughout the course of a year. And once we get that taken care of, I think we're going to be fine. But to have everything set up is a big win for us as a PE teachers and an ex-PE coach and athletic director. I think it's awesome. And we'll have that again. Not telling them how to teach, just telling them what we're going to teach. So these are the subjects that we're going to cover. I think once you take away the creativity of a teacher, I think you take away why they're here. So we don't want to do that. We have it. It'll be presented to I know Dr. McCall and Susan Jackson here very, very soon, and we're hoping to get that out to the teachers.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. And we've been also working very closely with Mr. Robleski.
Yeah, I had some exciting news in the health world. So next year we're going to be adopting a new health resource. So a new health textbook. TA only approved one vendor. Our current Texas Health Book was adopted in 2005. So these resources are old. Most of the pictures captioned in the book say 1985. So when you look at it, you're like, I mean, you even give it to a student, they're like, oh, come on, give me a break, right? So, and all the electronic resources are really just like electronic worksheets, really. Not really like interactive resources that they have now. And since we haven't had one approved through Texas TEA, we weren't able to adopt that in the past. And to give you a little history behind that, the reason behind the adoption gap was because the state's decision to take out health as a required credit for graduation. Our district and our board required it locally as a graduation credit. So we required all of our students had to have it. The only issue was that getting the resources, we were not going to get funded for that. But now, since the state has gone through an adoption process, they've gone through a TEKS realignment with health. This is the first TEACS-aligned health resource for us in 16 years. So we won't have a vendor fair. So I went through the entire. I'm also the associate director for science. I went through the science adoption 10 years ago, and we had about 11 vendors in chemistry, in secondary, junior high, and biology. So we brought all those folks in. We formed committees at all the different levels. They came in and they got to vote. Well, we have one choice. So we're going to have I'm calling like a showcase. So I'm going to invite all the health teachers from all 6 of our campuses, and then I'm also going to provide electronic links that the state provided us to all of y'all through an email that y'all can review it also. While you have that, I'm going to be ordering the hard copies. Those have not come in yet. So I'm not really sure what all electronic resources they're going to offer, but lately a lot of the textbooks and vendors, they're pretty nice. They adapt to our one-to-one iPads. I mean, they're really great compared to what it is now. It's a nightmare. So we plan on kind of forming like a showcase committees is what that's going to be, because we're going to have to present comments that maybe anybody from the public has to present to the board, because we are going to have to get them to approve it when it goes forward. We're going to discuss the online resources and the hard copies available. And then once that's done, then I and the health teachers will work on curriculum document alignment beginning this summer, 2022.
Thank you. Then, Mr. Sines, if you will speak for nutrition services. I think you have some updates. You're welcome to come up here or stand there. Either. Okay.
So, despite having some challenges, there's a lot of national shortages right now. Paper goods, battle with our vendors, and even trades recently. Despite all that, we've still been able to a lot of food and to provide the variety of options for students. I take that as a win. We're able to feed the kids and provide for them and meet a lot of strict guidelines on us, so still been able to meet appropriate substitutions for this past month we ran breakfast meal participation. I've gone and spoken with some of the students. Some of the information out from those not eating 3 meals a day. Motion for schools increase bodies, nourish them throughout their day and be ready for life.
Thank you, Mr. Sines. And then Ms. Carrillo is not here today, but she did provide some updates from family and community involvement. She said that Baytown Junior will be hosting a parent nutrition class with GCCISD Nutrition Services. Bridge Over Troubled Waters will present mental health information to the PE classes. Counselor department will be presenting or has been presenting strategies to students on how to cope with grief, information about vaping, and conflict resolution. At Crockett Elementary, she had some updates that they had a good turnout for their Catch family night. So they had an in-person family night, and they had about 90 parents plus students attend. San Jacinto Elementary committed Wednesdays to be water day drinking for all their staff members to encourage hydration. Lamar Elementary, she mentioned the United Way Day of Caring. They beautified the playground there, and she was very excited about that. And then at all elementary schools, they have the Beat Alley program, fire safety and prevention, that is happening across the district. Ms. Pena?
that never ends. For those of y'all that don't know, nurses are not mandated by the state of Texas. So Goose Creek is fortunate that we have nurses at every campus. Having said that, a big, huge challenge is getting a sub for them when they're out. So our campuses are they take care of that. The front office does, the employees do, and our nurses go through training them on a daily basis. Having said that, our nurses are busy trying to get back into, I say, the normalcy from the past year and a half. That's been a challenge to come back because there were so many things we were not able to do last year. And so they are busy getting those done. Right now, we are doing vision and hearing screenings, which are a mandate by the state. So we are busy taking care of our elementaries, and our junior highs will follow. And so ongoing constantly is everything else, taking care of the needs of the students as they come in. Because as a norm, our students don't come to school sick. So we take care of them when they are, or if they have extenuating circumstances or special needs that need to be addressed. We also have aside from that, on a daily basis is immunizations, and those reports and those mandates by the state. So that's ongoing constantly. That never ends. Another thing, our junior schools are starting the All for Them program. It's a grant through UT Health and Depot Baytown, where through an HPV initiative. And those junior highs are sending out notices too. So if any of you have students in secondary, probably get information or a call out or a packet in regards to that with information. So we've started that. Gentry is our first campus, and we'll start that, I believe, and then to follow with EF Green, I think, and Horseman and CBJ, and of course, our high schools, which will be in January and February. We're continuing that, and so that's going to be a busy few months, even though it really doesn't. Our clinics never slow down. Those are a few highlights, and there's too many to talk about and to even mention, but those are the main things that are going on.
Thank you, Ms. Pena. Ms. Caldwell?
So I wanted to just share a little bit of what's happening in the SEL, which is the Social Emotional Learning and Student Wellness Department. What we're working on right now is a couple of initiatives, and one of them being Wellness on the Go. But before I tell you a little bit about that, I wanted to also share with you all about our Character Strong initiative that we started last year, where it was our student wellness interventionists and our counselors that were actually putting this information out to the students. This year, we have actually put it into the hands of the classroom teachers. So every Wednesday, we have what's called Wellness Wednesday in the district, and at least 15 minutes of Character Strong is being shared with our students in every classroom throughout the district, K through 12. When I mentioned student wellness interventionists, some of you all may not be aware that we have the student wellness interventionist in the district, and that's either a licensed counselor or a certified counselor or a licensed social worker. And so those staff members, we have 11 of them, one in elementary. Of course, that is Ms. Slack that's here on tonight. She is our student wellness interventionist that's at the elementary. The rest of them are at the primary campuses. And basically their job is to provide interventions for those students that have either had a crisis. When I say a crisis, that means an outcry of either harm to self, whether that's self-injurious behavior or suicidal ideation. We will work with those students for a total of about 9 weeks to provide evidence-based interventions for those students. And then after that, we assess them to see if they're ready to come off of their caseload. And if so, we will pair them with either communities and schools or our community youth specialists for additional follow-up. But one of the things that we have started, we noticed that when we were providing services at different campuses, is that students they wanted to talk. They wanted to talk about the things that's happening with them. So we started Wellness on the Go on last year. And basically we pick up and we go to the different campuses, and we partner with, of course, Amanda and her staff. We also partner with our nutrition department. We have our employee health and wellness director. We're pulling in starting, I think at not our next session, but one of our future activities or events, we'll have the fine arts department. And I'm trying to see who else we have. Of course, communities and schools. And basically, what we're doing is we're doing mental health services as well as social emotional learning activities in a tent that we have set up, and it is beautiful. I wish I would have remembered to bring a picture of it. But we have kids that come out, we're there all day long. We have kids that come out, selected kids that come out, and we run them through different stations where they're doing some of the activities are so y'all can get a little feel of it. Calming through coloring. One is finding support, shift and persist, threat versus challenges. And then we have some outdoor activities where Amanda will lead them in different things that may be like
Chair yoga.
chair yoga. Just being
Activities.
able to do some other things, some physical activities. And then, of course, we have our nutrition department that gives them a healthy snack, and they give them information about, choosing healthy snacks over things that are not so healthy for them. And then, of course, since we have the students out, what we wanted to do is have the employees to come out as well, so they can go through the different stations that we have for them. And one is with Stephanie Myers, who is our Director of Employee Health and Wellness. She talks about the Employee Assistance Program and the different services that they provide. And then we actually do a coloring activity with them, and it's amazing to watch the adults kind of ease back into their childhood, a place of safety, and them to actually do the coloring. We also have the adults where they can also do the yoga. And so it's just really a really fun day for the students. But while we have them, we are inputting into them different strategies of how they can take care of themselves. And so I just wanted to share that information, and that is called Wellness on the Go. I can tell you that for this school year, we have a couple of campuses that we are going to target. We've already did Gentry for this school year. On November the 17th, we'll be at Sterling. Then we'll be at Bowie in December, Days of Awe in March, and in CBJ in May. And the reason why we chose certain campuses, really, if there was different situations or crisis things that have happened that were major at those campuses, those are the campuses that we try to target. The kids are selected at Gentry. We did all of the sixth graders. So we know as you're transitioning from elementary into junior high, some of those kids have some concerns and some issues, and we just wanted to give them an ease, try to help them to ease into being a junior high student. And so that's how we just targeted the whole sixth grade. For Sterling, what we're going to target is some of our baseball players, and then also some of the student athletes. So those students typically, if they are, we also allow the campus teachers to recommend their classes. So sometimes, mostly what we will find is if a student is having some difficulties, then those are typically some of those students that we try to target. That's not always the case, but that is some of the ways.
Thank you, Ms. Colwell. And then Ms. Myers, Stephanie Myers is not here for Employee Health and Wellness Director, but she did send some notes. She wanted to mention that 50 staff members participated in the Step Timber Challenge, and she just wanted to say we recognize the efforts of all the participants. Staff wellness surveys are going to be sent to staff members this month. Data is going to be collected to establish an understanding of health and wellness needs, to decrease absenteeism and develop strategies for support. And of course, our subcommittees that are involved with that will be able to help in this area.
Thank you to all of the district leaders that provided feedback for their committee updates. Next, we would like to discuss the subcommittee charge for creating positive change. And this is very important for our subcommittee. So just before I get into what I have in front of me, I think it's very important for us to, finish this year off with a win. And so what we're going to ask is just 20 more minutes after this meeting adjourns. We're going to ask for the subcommittees to stick behind at least until 6 p.m. so we can take care of this business. We know that Thanksgiving is coming up. Christmas will be next, and then New Year, 2022 will be here. So it's very important that we get some of this work done for the subcommittees so we can lead into the committees of what you just heard from several of the district leaders. So our work as parents and teachers, this really is very important in the subcommittee area. So anyhow, so the subcommittees will work in breakout areas of the room and in other rooms Amanda will mention here in a second. At the end of this general meeting to provide members an opportunity to choose a committee and create a collective vision for the 21-22 GCCISD SHAC. So subcommittees will be led by the district leaders and designated subcommittee chair or chairs. The subcommittee chair or designee will take notes and share at the next scheduled executive committee meeting. It is the subcommittee chair's responsibility to share subcommittee updates with the executive committee. Subcommittees will determine a date for the next subcommittee meeting.
All right. The next part of the agenda is just upcoming community events and partner resources. So we just wanted to give our community partners a chance to share anything that they would like to talk about. Miss Rosemary Kaufman from Lee College. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Just have on November 18th at 6 p.m. It will actually start 5:30 with vendors. We have community conversation, all type conversation. We'll have Dr. Peter Stout from the Houston Friends, Claudia Rodas from the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, and some from Parents Against Vaping and E-Cigarettes. We will have Chick-fil-A. We will have, and this is an opportunity. We'll have materials that you can take back for if it's for the school, back to your classroom, like and vaping. We have a great Peers Against Tobacco student group that is helping, which has a lot of impact students on our campus. So it should be a lot of information for parents, faculty, staff, teachers, anybody who really wants to know more about what you can do about vaping and the things.
Thank you for sharing, and I'll share the flyer. It's fine. It's fine. I'll share the flyer in the follow-up when we share the meeting minutes. We'll attach the flyer to that if anyone's interested.
Oh, it's in Rundell Hall. I'm sorry.
Rundell Hall.
Rundell Hall. Lee College, Rundell Hall.
Thank you. And Ms. Pena, did you want to talk for a moment about the volunteer opportunities for our community members?
Yeah, so United Way sponsors a free database online. It's called Volunteer Connect, and it's free to community members as well as community organizations, profit human service organizations. And it's pretty much a digital bulletin board of volunteer opportunities around our community. So it's not just agencies funded across the board. We have everything from outdoor service opportunities to becoming a mentor or a tutor with some of our agencies, including so it's a great opportunity for parents and students alike to get involved in the community. It tracks volunteer hours. It creates a volunteer resume. So if you have students who need hours for anything, or if you have teachers who would like to participate actively in the community platform, I do have some flyers here. It has a QR code on it. It'll take you right to it. It's a great tool to utilize. United Way has an event coming up at the end of November, actually next weekend. We're going to be in Anahuac doing a food distribution, partnering with Hearts and Hands of Baytown, if you haven't heard of them. They're a local food pantry. And then additionally, we are going to be starting what we're calling some community conversations around education and around what's happening in our school districts. So we're still finalizing some dates and details, but it's a great opportunity to just come and have your voice heard about what is being achieved, what gaps do we see, and how can United Way partner with other agencies, including help close some of those gaps. So we will be having those here before the holiday breaks, and I'll get more information out as soon as we have it.
We'll share that out. Thank you so much. I know some of our student athletes have been using that platform as well, Volunteer Connect, to get some hours too. So we appreciate that. Ms. Ehegdavo?
Everyone, my name is Cara Ehegbo, and I'm having a SHAC in our area. Started in the morning. So if anyone is in other SHACs, what they're doing, Amanda's going to be presenting how you all have been doing such a great job here in Goose Creek. And other SHACs will also be presenting level representation as well. Provide additional resources, parents and school staff and anyone that is involved with SHAC. So if you're interested, I know that Amanda has the other than that, I was just going to share that if you guys want additional information, the
We appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yes, and she has come out as well last year to do some presentations, and great resource for our SHAC, even just reestablishing ourselves last year and going on into this year. So we appreciate all your support, and members, you are welcome to during your subcommittee meetings, let your chair know, hey, we think we need these district experts to come in and answer these questions for us, or we may need to have this presenter come in and talk to our subcommittee. And then if it's for the good of the group, then they have that presentation for the entire SHAC as well. So just voice your concerns or needs, and we'll make sure that we do our best to meet those. Thank y'all for sharing. Okay, my part. I should have had this ready. Okay, so now we are to the fun portion. We're almost done. So before we leave, we have a couple of, we call this our SHAC Spin the Wheel, just to value you being here this evening. So you must be present to win. So we will roll, and if they're not here, sorry. But we have two prizes for our SHAC wheel tonight. And I will, hopefully this will work. So our first winner is, if they're present. Spinning. Everyone's name is up here. Miss Rosemary Kaufman. If y'all give her a round of applause. $25 gift. And then the second will be a gift certificate from our athletics department for 4 in-district GCCISD tickets to any game or event. So that will be nice. Thank y'all for donating. Why did I do that? Okay. Miss Kegler? Is she here? Everybody's like, yes. Miss Aqua? Yay! All right. Great job.
There you go.
There you go. And so, with that, we thank you. We just wanted to give our closing remarks here, and then we'll kind of give some directions for our subcommittees. It'll be a very short meeting, but closing remarks about our mandatory SHAC meetings. Our next one will be January the 18th, 2022. So if at all possible, please do your best to make it here. Note that the March 15th is a new a date change. My apologies for that. The original date was the 8th, which is during spring break, and all offices will be closed. Don't know how I missed that one. And then May 10th will be our final SHAC meeting of the year. And just a note for our executive committee members, that the officers and all of the subcommittee chairs and district leaders, we do have a follow-up meeting to this meeting on Monday the 15th, just to go over what transpires in your subcommittee meetings. I think that's it for me.
All right. Is there anything else to pass or on the table before we adjourn this general meeting? All right. Hearing none, I'll take silence as compliance. So this meeting is adjourned at 5:47 p.m.